There we are. Hi, welcome to Tapping Tuesday. My name is Amanda. If you don't know who I am, if this is your first week, welcome. If it is not your first week, welcome back. Thank you for supporting me in my absence last week. I got COVID. I'm always behind on trends, and it was just my turn. I'm still super this whatever this is. I don't fully have my brain back yet, and I'm still really tired. So I apologize for any brain gaps that creates for today, but we will still definitely have a wonderful time together and get some good tapping in. I'm going to give just a quick overview for anyone who may be here for the first time. What we do here is EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, also known as tapping. If you've ever seen anyone doing this, that's what we're doing today. I don't go into an explanation of what it is. We simply jump into it and do it. We do that so that you can experience what it is and feel a difference because it can happen that quickly. Like today, when we're done tapping, you'll feel a difference. Why and how that happens and all of the scientific backing for it is on our YouTube channel with literally hundreds of videos. So if you want to check that out, also you can always email me questions. But I want to keep this time for actual experience. So just know that if you ask a question and I don't answer, I do want to answer it, just not during this hour-long session. I do also receive emails for anyone who wants to participate, but is hesitant to put something in the live chat. That's where I do get the information on what we tap on every time we have our live sessions. But if you want to participate, but not in that way, you can always email it to me, and I will bring it up anonymously in our next tap. And my email is at the top of the chat. I do have a conversation that it's something that we can tap on. I want you to tell me if it's something that you want to tap on. It's not like it was a back and forth type thing. But first I'm going to say hi and then I'll jump into that. Hi, Richard. Hi, Danette. Oh, thank you so much. I'm really happy to be back too. And I really missed you guys. Hi, Anya. Oh, thank you, Anya. Hi, Mama Hutch. Getting notifications. Yeah, great. I'm happy to hear that. Hi, Violet. Heather. Hello. Hello, Helen. Oh, from Thailand. Yes, I promise you, I am looking after myself. I've got wonderful support, people looking after me as well. Um, Hair color matches my sweater. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I didn't notice that. um, Hi, Rashan. Oh, thank you so much. And Teresa. Oh, you're so welcome. I love doing this. I love being here with you. Hi, Zahra. Mystic singing plumber comedian. Oh, Cedric. Hi, Cedric. Okay. All right. So the conversation that I wanted to share with you is a person expressing, well, I'm doing tapping. It feels like tapping is working, but I'm still having discomfort in this way, and I'm still experiencing overwhelm in that way. And I know we've talked about well, tapping isn't to remove yourself from emotional experiences, but it does help you re-regulate and in some cases stop overwhelm from happening by being able to use the tool set that tapping provides. But also, more what this person was considering was situations that it's normal to have some of these feelings, like starting a new job. Gosh, what else did they mention? Um, my mind is so blank. But just situations where it's natural and it's normal to feel a little bit out of sorts because you're starting a new habit, you're stopping an old habit, you're in a new environment where you don't have um, an awareness of anything yet. All of that is unsettling. And that is also the way our brain works, not just in survival mode, but for someone who has spent a majority of their life in survival mode, especially attached to change, it is always going to feel that trigger of, oh no, I'm not safe. This is new and it's different and I'm not safe. And I'm at the beginning of something and I have to ask questions about it and I'm not safe. So if somewhere in your life those two things got tied together of safety and growth or new experiences or change, then it can be difficult to understand a different concept and mindset of, oh, well, yeah, this is uncomfortable, this is new, I'm not good at this yet, but I'm okay, but I'm safe to explore this, but I'm still a worthy, valuable asset or person, even if I'm starting here right now. Um, and there are ways to tap around that, but I just wanted to share that because I felt like that was very valid, of a point to make. So, if that's something that you've struggled with, if that's something that you wanna tap on, let me know, but I also just wanted to share in general, that idea so that you could have that to munch on if it's helpful to you. I saw that there were a lot of comments come in, so I'm gonna reread those, and then we'll get grounded and get going. Hi, Marion. Thank you so much. Hi, Dr. Scott. Steven, glad to have you here. Thank you. Ooh, Zahara coming in strong. How to work with gaslighting. Yes, I'm so glad that you brought that up. I don't think we've ever tapped specifically on that, and I love that. I love it so much. We will absolutely tap on that today. Change and lack of safety intertwined with my life from the beginning. Yeah, yeah. I would say that's an experience that a lot of people have, even if they haven't recognized it. Um, on my hutch, after being sick too long, I've learned that safety and not pushing is important. Can we tap on post illness, fatigue, and vertigo? Sure, absolutely. Absolutely, we can. Thank you, Dr. Scott. I am feeling better, but I'm still low leveling it. So, all right, let's go ahead and get grounded. I did have someone tell me that the last time I did it a little bit differently, that was pleasant. So let's try that again. And if you don't like it, let me know, and we'll see about maybe shifting it more. Uh, Go ahead and become aware of yourself. And we're doing this with the intention of grounding, and just become aware of where you are. And it could be physically where you're sitting. What does it feel like to sit where you're sitting? Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it warm? Is it neutral? Um, are you feeling your clothes right now? The textures and um, sensations that you're getting from your clothes. Like, are you wearing tight clothes? Are they squeezing you? Are you wearing loose clothing? Do you have something heavy like a blanket across a part of your body? And become aware of your mind. Where are your thoughts? Where is your attention? And go ahead and take a breath here. And as you become aware of where your mind is, go ahead and give yourself a percentage of how much of your mind, of your awareness, is present in this moment and how much of it is out, focused on something else, out, focused on another point of your timeline, whether it's in the future or in the past. How much of you mentally is actually present in this moment? Go ahead and come up with a number between 0% to 100%. And whatever your number is, allow it. Just acknowledge it. Let's take another breath. And as you're aware of that number, ask yourself, well, what amount of that is present in my arms? How present am I in my arms? And can I allow myself to be present in my arms? Can I call that back to me right now? Does that feel safe? Does it feel comfortable? Does it feel acceptable? And if you get yeses, go ahead and feel yourself coming back from wherever it's been and become aware of your arms, your shoulders, your biceps, your forearms, your hands, your fingers. Feel yourself returning to this present moment and filling up the space of your arms. And take a breath. and become aware of what percentage of you is in your trunk. So from your shoulders down to your hips. What percentage of you is present in this space? And ask yourself, is it safe? Is it okay? Can I give myself permission to receive my awareness back into this space of mine? And if you get a yes, allow yourself to come back from wherever your awareness is and re engage in this space between your shoulders and your hips. Return to around your lungs, your ribs, your heart, your stomach, your intestines, your back, your spine, your hip bones, your bladder. I don't know why that one, but okay. Also the bladder. And allow yourself to become present and aware in your body. And let's think about our legs. What percentage of you is present in your legs from your hips down to the tips of your toes? And if you are able to feel safe, to feel comfortable, to give yourself permission to bring your awareness back into your legs and be present in your legs at this time, go ahead and feel that last bit of awareness that's floating around out there to come back into your legs, back into your thighs, into your knees, into your skin, into your muscles, into your bones, into your shins, your calves, your ankles, the tops of your feet, the bottoms of your feet, and your toes. And feel your awareness become present and completely with you in this moment. Let's take another breath. One last place. Become aware of your head and of your mind itself. And ask, what percentage of awareness am I allowing right now in my mind and in this space of my brain, my head, a lot of my sensory organs? And ask yourself, is it okay? Is it safe? Can I give myself permission to feel present and aware in my mind, with my senses, in my brain? And if your answer is yes, then feel that awareness connecting through the whole rest of your body, connecting with the awareness that's in your head. Coming and being fully present in this body, in this space, in this mind right now. Let's take one last breath. Nicely done. I'm going to set just a really quick intention because it just never feels complete if I don't do it. It is my intention that as we tap together today, that even though we are all over the world and we're having different experiences in life, that as we come together with this intention that is the same, that we connect in that intention. And that connection is real and it has substance and value and power. And that connection matters. And you being here to be a part of that connection matters. And it doesn't matter in what way you show up, whether you're having a great day or you're really struggling. It's your presence. It's you being here and your contribution that matters, whether you write anything in the chat or not. And it's my intention that you feel that you know that by the end of our time here together today. And that even if we don't tap on specifically what you're dealing with, that by the end of this session, you will feel better. Okay, let's take a breath together. Okay, let's get going on tapping. I'm going to see what else has been written. Okay, it's uncomfortable and it's a trigger. Yes, talking about gaslighting. Okay, this helps to become more present. Yay! Nice grounding exercise. Okay, great. I'm glad that you enjoy that. It's one that I kind of created it. So that makes me feel a little bit extra nice that you like it. Okay, let's start let's start with gaslighting, um, and then we'll go into the physical body. So just to clarify, at least from my understanding of gaslighting, it is when you are being invalidated, almost always on purpose. Someone can have been taught gaslighting as a form of communication and not know how to do any better. Sometimes gaslighting can happen by way of like passive aggression. Um, because a person doesn't know how to hold their own space and speak from a place of more power than that. So their power comes from manipulation of another person. Gaslighting can be something where it's loud and obnoxious, screaming matches, where one or both or more people are engaged in that type of space. It can be very quiet. It can be something that's very emotional. It can be something that's very sterile. It can be something that's happening in a power position, like it in a workplace between a boss and an employee. It happens a lot in relationships. It can happen in familial relationships between parents and their children. There's no age range that's more specific for gaslighting. Um, so it can start happening to you or from someone at a pretty young age. Although calling children gaslighters, I have an ethical problem with that. Um, but that has to do with development and education, so I won't jump into that rabbit hole. But um, when uh, someone is communicating with you and invalidating um, something that is your right to have, like your emotions, your experience, your opinion, undermining an accomplishment of yours, making you question something. But the core of it is manipulation. Um, and oftentimes it's also connected with control. Someone attempting to control their environment, to control you as a piece of their environment. So I hope that that helps. And if anyone else has anything they want to add, an aspect of what gaslighting can be, please feel free to add to what I've said. Um, let me see. Okay, Anya, I see you asking, is it something like mobbing? And I don't know that term, mobbing. I think in the United States, that might have a different connotation to it. So I don't know. Sorry. Um, tapping about gaslighting. Yes. If vulnerable and need people around you that you need to trust in order to survive, it can be so painful. Yes. Yeah, trying to convince someone that they're crazy. Yes, is another example of gaslighting. Yes. Extreme example, but okay. So have in your mind, if you want to tap on gaslighting, something having to do with those circumstances that have been mentioned. Um, so if you're not sure you're being gaslit, but you know you're being invalidated or you know you're being manipulated, feel free to use a different term. But hold into your mind a time present or past, or something that you're worried about in the future when this has occurred for you. And if it's a specific person or you are the specific person and you just feel like you're a target, people gaslight me, I just don't know why they pick me. All of that will work for this. Go ahead and start tapping. I'm going to remind myself of the words that Sahara said specifically. Uncomfortable, and it's a trigger. Okay. As I consider how in my life I am affected by being gaslit or gaslighting, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though, as I consider multiple aspects of how I have been affected by by encountering gaslighting. And I have emotions about it. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now, as I consider this triggering circumstance of being gaslit, and I don't yet know how to protect myself from it, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. We're going to tap a few rounds to kind of tone down any emotional response that might be happening. Gaslighting. Manipulation. Being manipulated. Being targeted for manipulating. Invalidation. Not being seen. Not being heard. Gaslighting. Intentionally targeted. Intentionally emotionally hurt. Manipulation. Gaslighting. Okay, and now we're going to do what I call going on a rant. Okay, so what I say may or may not connect with the way you feel, but if you have other words, you get those out. And what I mean by ranting is you just get out the emotion. You say all of the things. Okay. Gaslighting is so juvenile. It's so stupid. And people who engage in that are just terrible. It's horrible. It's so it makes me so angry. And I feel oh people who choose to gaslight and manipulate just should never have positions of power. The way that they intentionally hurt other people is just so it hurts and it makes me angry and they get away with it. They get away with it. People do this all the time. This person in my life does this all the time and they get what they want. And that's wrong. It's sick and it's bad and it's wrong and it should be stopped. And it isn't stopped. And I can't deal with that. I feel so upset about it. Gaslighting is a horrible thing. And no one should have to experience it. No one should be intentionally targeted and manipulated in this way. It's not helpful. And it furthers agendas of people that shouldn't have power. Even though I have very strong feelings about this situation, I deeply and completely accept myself. Of course, I have strong feelings. I don't believe gaslighting is right. I don't think it's ever right. I think there's so many other ways to choose to engage in communication. And it really upsets me that there are people who choose it. And I'm allowed to have feelings. I'm allowed to acknowledge that this doesn't align with me and that it hurts me when it happens. I don't want gaslighting to not affect me. I don't want manipulation to be something that I become numb about or that I just accept. So, yeah, I have emotions about it, and it's okay that I do. And as I accept my emotions about being gaslit, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, what can I do about it? I know how I can release my own feelings, but is there anything I can do about gaslighting? I know I can't control the other person, and I don't want to try to engage in controlling them. That's their whole way of thinking. That feels like an unsafe option for me. So how do I disengage someone who is attempting to manipulate me? How do I protect myself? Protecting myself. Protecting myself from manipulation. Protecting myself from gaslighting. Protecting myself when they catch me off guard. Protecting myself when I can't just get away. Protecting myself when I have to communicate. Protecting myself even if I get triggered. Protecting myself even if I do reach overwhelm. Protecting myself even if I'm still learning what protecting myself even means. I wonder, what is the basic mechanism? What is the machine, if I were to look at it as a machine of gaslighting? How does it work? Well, I suppose it would be one point of information that's being given, and then that point of information is received at a different point, and then it is manipulated, twisted, um, and put back to the original point as the new input. And then it is up to that initial point to then defend, change, um, deal with the manipulation that occurred. What would happen if, instead of agreeing to deal with the shift of manipulation, what if I asked questions? What if I asked for clarifications. What if instead of feeling like it's my job to figure this out, I have them explain? That might work. That might not work exactly. It might not work in every situation, even though, as I begin this line of thinking, I'm not certain that what I have yet is everything that I need. I'm open to continue to exploring this and coming up with other ideas. Okay. So, what are questions that I would ask? What are things that I would say? Maybe I could repeat back what's been said and ask for clarification. Maybe I can involve another person, um, and therefore it's no longer like a I said, they said situation. In what ways can I incorporate new ideas into this machine that is gaslighting that will change the route, the pathway of how it is currently operating? As I consider ways that I might be able to shift this in my favor, I allow myself to feel good about the fact that I'm working to protect myself. This may resolve my issue. The person may become tired of dealing with me if I become more difficult to manipulate, and it may not. If it doesn't, I wonder, what are some other ways that I can protect myself? What if I establish a line of communication that I'm comfortable with? What if we talk, but always around other people? What if we talk through email or text so that there's a history of what's been said and I can go back and double check facts? What if, even if we verbally have a conversation, I always confirm it and the facts through texting or email? Okay, that could be another practical thing. But what about the feelings that I have? What about these feelings inside of me when I have to deal with it, when I'm confronted with it, when I feel that energy that's being put on me? It doesn't feel good, and I don't like feeling that. What can I do to support myself in that? As I consider how I can also support myself emotionally when I am being engaged in manipulation, I deeply and completely accept myself. Well, I wonder if I were witnessing someone that I love, someone that I tend to protect, engaging in a gaslighting circumstance with another person, what would I do to protect them? What would I do to support them? Would I also engage in the conversation? Would I go in and pull them out of the conversation? Would I replace myself with them in the conversation? What does my impulse tell me about how I would protect? And is that something that I can offer to myself within my own space, within my own mind? Because maybe what I'm feeling is really alone. Maybe what I'm feeling is that I'm all by myself when I'm being gaslit. And maybe there are other people, maybe there aren't, but I can show up for myself. I can be in that space. I can have a commentary, a conversation going on within myself to hold my ground, to hold my own space emotionally and mentally, even if this other person is difficult and continues to be difficult. I can be a safe space for me. And I may have to continue to figure out little things that I can do, tips that I can apply to hold outward boundaries against being manipulated. But I can offer my own strength, my own boundaries, my own witness as these events occur and allow myself to be supported by what I know, by what I feel. And I can say to myself, we know the truth. This is a sticky situation outside, but in here, mm, we know the truth. Yeah, but even if, as I'm considering this, I feel some pushback about being my own support system, I deeply and completely accept myself. And I hold space to find a place where not only do I allow myself to be my own support system, but I choose it. Because who better knows how to support me than me? And I give myself permission to choose me. I give myself permission to have me as a support. And as I move forward, and however much I engage or disengage in this situation, I allow myself to build up my relationship with me and my ability to support, my ability to protect, my ability to speak up, even if all of it's right here. Because if there's any place that I am going to speak up, here is where that belongs first. Gaslighting, speaking up, manipulation, speaking my truth. And as I continue to explore how to best support myself in this way, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, take a breath. Okay, I saw some comments come in. Okay, hi Karen, thank you. I'm getting there. Mobbing means to harass someone. So yeah, it it very well could be very similar, Anya. I'm sorry, Andrea, that the video keeps freezing. I hope it's gotten better. If not, hopefully the recording will be more smooth. Um, Putting someone on their emotional defensive by subtle attack on their weak points. People skilled at verbal sparring. Yep, more. Yep. Thank you for the explanation. Remaining neutral. That is a challenge. Yes. Yeah, that is. So the last thing that Dr. Scott said, and this is advice that I've received from a friend of mine who is a therapist that specializes in assisting people out of trauma from um, uh, narcissistic relationships. Um, but Dr. Scott wrote, "How to block, shut down the gaslight effectively while remaining neutral. That is a challenge." What this friend of mine said is those emotions are not safe in that scenario with that person. And so you deny them that. And you go and you share those emotions with someone else that is safe. You go and you scream and you cry and all of those triggers that, oh, they're so good at pushing, right? Because that someone who's manipulative is very good at reading people, but they're doing it for a nefarious purpose. Um, but those emotions are not safe with that person. So don't give them that. Don't offer them that space of connection with you. Deny them and say, "Oh yeah, oh I'm really irritated right now, but you don't get that. You don't get to meet me there." So that's a more empowering way to look at it. That even if they get you, they get you riled up, they get you questioning yourself, they get you angry, to be able to throw back and go, "Oh yeah, no, I'm angry, but you don't get that. You don't get to connect with me there because you're denied in that space. I'm gonna go punch this out of my punching bag. I'm gonna go call my best friend about it, but you don't get that. You don't get that part of me." Um, okay, moving on. Okay, something for burnout. Yes, Doria, that is actually what we're going to next. Finding our voice, important thing to practice, a tapping subject. Yeah, finding our voice, absolutely. Gray rock technique. I actually don't know what that is. So, Paula, if you want to explain that a little bit, then I would love to know. All right, let's move on to physical body. And I just want to reread what Mama Hutch said. Okay, tap on post illness, fatigue, and vertigo. And I'm going to add burnout to that as well. So we're going to switch to tapping on the effects of our physical body. This can absolutely come from an emotional standpoint, right? Anytime we're overly stressed, that is a physical chemical response of the body, and that will create fatigue and burnout and whatnot. Whether you're overcoming something that has an initial response of like an illness, a surgery, an injury, or if it's a long-going chronic emotional state. It can come from anywhere. So even though I'm saying physical body, um, know that it's still considering all of who we are and all of our experience. Um, so what Mama Hutch mentioned was, so after you're kind of better, right? After you're healed, but your body isn't back to the level of what it was maybe once before. Um, we're gonna tap on from that angle and like waiting, or working to get your body back there, but it's maybe not happening as fast as you would like. Speaking from experience right now. So go ahead and get in mind something related to your body, to movement, to thought, to cognitive function, um, where you're just not at that level where you would like to be. And it feels like, oh, but I just don't, how do I get there? How do I get ahead to that place? How do I reach that when this is what I've got to work with? Okay, so whatever that looks like for you, and go ahead and start tapping. Even if it's not a chronic illness space. It could be from your life is just busier. Maybe you're thinking of before you had children to now when you have children, or when you were 20 and now you're 60, whatever circumstance it is that's shifting where you're comparing. Okay. As I consider where I am currently with my physical health, and I find I'm not happy with where I am. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I'm dealing with lingering symptoms, results, experiences that I really want to let go of, but don't know how yet. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I don't feel like the function of my body and potentially my mind match my soul, my spirit, who I am as a person, and where I'm supposed to be, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, how is it that I know this isn't my best, that this isn't where I want to be? What am I comparing my current situation to? What am I withholding acceptance of this scenario that is currently me because I want to accept where I was? Is it when I was younger, when I was healthier, before a certain event or experience happened? Or is it an ideal that I've always had that I just haven't reached yet? Whatever it is that I'm using as my comparison of where I would like to be, but I'm not there now, I deeply and completely accept myself. It's okay that I have ideals. It's okay that I have goals, that I have desires. All of those things are okay to have. But I wonder, is it helpful? Is it helpful for me right now to be thinking about who this person is that I could be, who this person feels that I should be, that I know I'm capable of, but I don't have it right now? Does that feel helpful to what I want? Or does it invite negative feelings and emotions? As I consider if my current train of thought is helpful to me or not, I hold space for this conversation. I hold space for any truths that might come out that don't feel good to acknowledge. I hold space for things that, even if they feel true, are triggering for me that I didn't realize I was holding against myself. And I hold space to have aha moments, to have moments of inspiration, to have moments of illumination regarding this. Because with all of my thoughts, with all of my desires, what I really want is to feel good. And I have an idea of what feeling good looks like and feels like because I've been there, or I can picture it if I haven't quite ever gotten there before. And so that's what I'm reaching for. That makes sense. But I wonder, is it working? Is it helping? And if it's not working, if it's not helping, what other choices do I have? As I consider what other choices I might have to feel better, I deeply and completely accept myself. Well, I suppose this means I need to define what feeling better is. Is it a function? Is it a certain outcome? Is it where I can remember everything I want to do in a day? Is it where my body has energy or ability? Is it where I have energy and focus to put towards things that I've been putting off and procrastinating? Whatever it is, that feeling better is to me. I deeply and completely accept myself. When I consider what feeling better looks like, do I picture it at 100% better? Well, yeah, of course I do, because that's when I've made it there, right? I mean, that's what makes sense to do, is to see it 100% the way that I want it. Yeah. Okay, great. Do I have the expectation of myself to make that leap from where I am now? Because that's a big leap. Even if I have expected myself to go from where I am now to 100% of where I want to be. And those are the only steps. I deeply and completely accept myself. All right. Well, um, what about the fact that I'm taking vitamins? What about the fact that I have an exercise routine? What about the fact that I'm attentive to my sleep schedule? What about the fact that I'm attentive to my food intake? Okay, those are great tools. Those are great means of support. But are they steps? Have I been treating my means of support as my steps? Hmm. I suppose I should clarify what my steps are. Okay. Well, I wonder if I know exactly what my 100% looks like, what would 50% look like? How will I know when I'm halfway there? What do I feel is an appropriate vision of my 50% mark? Hmm. What does 50% feel like, look like, act like? What is that experience of 50%? And as I become aware of that, I also wonder, what does 25% look like? What does half of 50 look like? Oh, 25%. What does 25% of my goal look like, feel like, act like? What does that experience behave like? Okay. As I become aware of what 25% is, I wonder what would just 2% of progress, 2% of success, 2% of forward movement, that even though that's such a little percent of my 100%, what would be 2%? I wonder, could I accept 2% of progress today? Even though what I want, what I really want, is my 100%, can I give myself permission to receive 2% today? Yes. No. I don't know. Maybe. Even if I'm uncertain, if I can accept such a small percentage, I hold space to find a place for it. Well, what good would it do? What good would it do for me to accept 2%? And what does 2% look like? I don't feel as tired when I wake up. I don't have to sleep as long in the afternoon to recover. I gain 10 minutes of productivity today. Is that what I'm considering 2%? Maybe. But what if? What if I see that 2% and I allow myself to feel really good about it? And I allow myself to feel successful in it. How does that feel in comparison to not having my 100% yet? And which is going to offer me better support in my journey to healing? And maybe it's 2% today. And maybe it's 2% total this entire week. But then maybe next week I get another 2%. And maybe the next week I get another 2%. And because I'm acknowledging it and accepting it and allowing it and feeling the strength of it, I can build on it. And yeah, building 2% a week is a long time, but it's shorter than never. And maybe if I can focus on incremental progress, it will get me to my 100%. And maybe it won't. Maybe but I really don't have a way to know for sure. But if I can be sure about my 2% today and my 2% this week, maybe I can give it a try to see if that can be good enough for now. Just for now. I'm not accepting that I'm not getting my 100%. I'm not giving up on my goal or my dream. I still want it, and that's okay. Desires are good. Goals are good. Intentions are good. But as I have these goals and desires and intentions, I also allow myself my 2% and my incremental growth and progress and success. And as I allow myself these victories, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, and take a breath. I hope that was helpful, Mama Hutch. Man, chronic stuff, there's so much that can be wrapped up in overcoming those types of things. Sometimes safety is wrapped up in it where it's not safe to heal. And I'm speaking from that from experience as well. I had some connections with a 17-year chronic issue that were tied to safety. And I didn't know that. I didn't understand that until I learned EFT. It may not resolve everything, but that can be a solid beginning point because now you've got a positive platform. And then if something else comes in the way of that, you'll have a differentiation rather than negative and then a negative and negative and a negative. So I hope that that ends up being helpful. I know we're at time. I'm going to read the comments real fast, and then we'll see about if we feel like we're good or if we need to tap a quick before we go. Okay. Um, okay. Oh, good. Okay, that's what I described. Okay, Paula. Surgical recovery, chronic pain. Ideal chronic illness from the relationship. Sorry to hear that, Lilabelle. Um, will not allow healing. Mhm. Small successes as I slow down. Yes. Um, oh, thank you, Teresa. I'm glad that that was helpful. Oh, I'm glad I made you laugh, Mama Hutch. Word progress helps. Great. Baby steps. Yes, yes, yes. Yay. Going to love your 2%. Thank you. Ah, and I will love it too. I will celebrate with you. Send me an email and I will cheer with you as well. Every time you get your 2%, we will celebrate. Um, okay, awesome. All right. I'm just going to do a quick, like 30-second to 1 minute closing because I feel scattered, and that's probably just because of the space of where my body is. But let's tap on that. As this tapping comes to a close, and I recognize what has shifted, but I'm also aware of what has not shifted yet. Even though there are things that are still not ideal, I deeply and completely accept myself. And I acknowledge this choice that I have in front of me right now. Maybe I've been taught to focus on the things that are undone and the things that aren't complete and the things that aren't right yet. But what if I also choose to focus on the things that are better, the things that do feel great, the things that are a success, and allow those good feelings to have ownership in my body? That's not something I get at the end of things. No, I get to have this right now. I just accomplished something. I accomplished something great, and I'm going to feel good about it. I choose right now to feel good about the progress that I have gained. And as I close this tapping session with the acknowledgement and the love and the excitement and the good feelings from the things that I have accomplished, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay. And take a breath. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for being here this week. I'm so glad that we got to be together. I absolutely plan on being here next week as well. It's always Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Have a wonderful week. I'm here if you want to email me, and I'll be posting a video on Friday. Take care. I'm thinking about you. I love you, and I hope to see you next Tuesday. Mwah.